Hello, everyone. Today, I would like to answer a question which I'm often asked, and that is, what is a business? And how can we determine whether we are running a successful business? The concept of business is actually a very complex one, and in the academic world, there are actually several definitions of this concept. But today, I would like to share with you what I consider to be a very simple but also very concise definition of this concept, of the concept of business. A definition which I think all of us can understand and we can all relate to. I consider business to be any activity or initiative that is profitable and sustainable. Two keywords here: profitable and sustainable. Remember, I didn't say profitable or sustainable, but profitable and sustainable. So, for any activity or initiative to be considered to be a business, it has to be both profitable and sustainable. Now, in order to explain these two concepts, I would like to bring in a very simple formula which is always used in business cycles. A very simple arithmetic formula. It is 1 plus 1 equals to 3 or more. 1 plus 1 is equal to or greater than 3. That what I mean is 1 plus 1 is either 3 or any number more than 3. This simple definition gives a concise definition, explanation of what a business is. I will explain that in a while in detail. Now, every income generating activity is carried out by an entrepreneur or a group of entrepreneurs who invest their time, knowledge, and skills. And they acquire resources, both human and material resources. All of these are called the inputs into the business or into the activities, the income generating activities. Now, they use this input to create products and or services that they sell to generate income, to acquire returns, which is what we call output. So every income generating activity actually has inputs and outputs. Now, for us to be able to determine whether the activities we are carrying out is a business and whether it is a successful business, we need to compare the activities inputs and outputs. And when we do this comparison, we come out with one of three different scenarios. Either the outputs are less than the input, that means we are getting a negative return on investment, or the outputs are equal to the input, which means we are getting a balanced return on investment, or our outputs are greater than our input, which means we are getting a positive return on investment. And that is where we want to head to in order to say that we are running a successful business. Excuse me. Um, from the beginning of this simple presentation, I have actually come up with I have presented you three different points. The first point is that A business is a profitable and sustainable activity. That's the first point. Secondly, you can actually understand business through the formula of 1 plus 1 equals to 3 or more. That means 1 plus 1 equals to or greater than 3. That's the second part. And then the third part is that in every business, there are 3 scenarios when you compare input and output. Now, we're going to use these 3 points in order to explain a business or a successful business. I'm going to take these 3 scenarios and fit them into those formula to determine whether the activity we are carrying out is it profitable and sustainable, so it can be called a business. Okay, so let's take the first scenario. The first scenario, your outputs are less than your input. That means that you are getting a negative return on investment. What you are getting out is less than what you have been putting in. In this case, your business is neither sustainable. The activities you're carrying out is neither sustainable or profitable. So you cannot consider it a business, and definitely you cannot consider it a successful business. So if you're having a negative return on investment, that means you are not able to get as much as you're putting in. Then you're not running a successful business. Now, we should understand one thing here. In every business, at the beginning of every business, you will experience this. You experience in the initial part of a business, you have to invest. And in most cases, at the beginning of the business, you will not be able to generate enough to cover what you're investing. That means that you will be having a negative return in the beginning of the business. That is normal. In most businesses, it takes maybe 1 year, 2 years for them to continue to experience this negative return on investment, because you have to invest in fixed assets, you have to invest in acquiring skills and knowledge, you have to invest in establishing networks and contacts, you have to invest in developing your products and services and strategies. So all of this take money. And in the beginning, in most cases, as I said, you'll not be able to get enough income to cover these expenses. So you have to invest. But the problem comes when in the long term, after years, you still continue to experience this negative return on investment. And if you continue to experience that, then your business concept, your business strategy has a fundamental flaw. You need to change your business concept, your business strategy. So in the beginning, if you're experiencing that, it's okay. But if you continue to experience after a long time, then you are not running a business. You're running a money hemorrhaging activity. You're just losing money. So it's not a business. It's not sustainable. It's not profitable. It's not a business. Now, that's the first scenario, which you have cleared. It's not a business. Second scenario is when your input and your output are equal. And when your input and your output are equal, if you fit this scenario into our formula, then it will read 1 plus 1 equals 2, which mathematically or arithmetically that is right, but in business it's not right. That is not a business, because if it's 1 plus 1 is 2, then you're not profitable. You're just getting back exactly what you're putting in, so you're not making profit. So it's not a business if you're not making profit. And if you're not making profit, it also means that you are not sustainable. Remember, sustainability of a business in the long run is very important. If you're sustainable in the short run, but you're not sustainable in the long run, then you are not running a successful business. Now, when you are running a business, you need profit to stay to remain sustainable. If you're only just getting what you're putting in, which to some people seems like a successful business, and we see this a lot in small income generating activities where the person or the persons who are running the business, gain they're able to get enough from the business to pay for what they put in, to pay for the resources, to pay for their time and their knowledge and skills. That means they're able to pay their bills and sustain themselves, cover their own personal bills and the bills of the company. For a short time, that is okay. It's sustainable for a short while. But we understand that business is not a smooth path. Sometimes your cost may go up, or sometimes your return on investment may fall below your investment. That means your output is going to be less than your input. And if you arrive in that situation when you are running your business on just on a balance, then you get into a very big problem. That means that you either have to go into debt to cover up what your losses, or you run out of business. So in that sense, we cannot say that you're running a successful business. You're not running a business at all, because it is not sustainable in the long run and it is not profitable. You're running on 1 plus 1, which is 2, which is not business. Now the third scenario is when your return or your output is more than your input. That means that you're getting from your business, you're generating more than you're putting in. And if you fit this into that, our formula is going to be 1 plus 1 equals to or greater than 3. That means that you are actually getting something extra, which is called profit. So in this case, you are generating profit. If you put in 7,000 into a business and you are able to generate 10,000, you've made a profit of 3,000. Or even if you put in 5,000 and you're able to generate 6,000, you have a profit of 1,000. That means your business is profitable. Now, you can plow back that 1,000 into your business to expand your business. And when you expand your business, you're creating more revenue streams. That means that there are more sources from which you can get income. That makes your business more sustainable. If you don't plow back, you may save that extra, that profit that you get. And that will mean that in the future, if your company gets an obstacle, for example, costs go up, or you generate less income than what you had put in, you can take from the savings to balance up. So it keeps your business sustainable. So here we see, when you have this formula, 1 plus 1 equals to 3 or more, which means that you're generating income, you're also sustainable. And that is what we consider a business. So remember, sustainable, profitable. 1 plus 1 equals 3 or more. That is business. That is how you know you're running a successful business. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would not like to take too much of your time. In summary, we've talked about a few things here, giving a short definition of business, which I consider to be any activity which is profitable and sustainable. And you can actually evaluate that by placing your business in the formula of 1 plus 1 equals 3 or more. When you use this metric to measure your business, you'll be able to determine if your activities reach the standard of this formula, then you are running a business. And remember, in every business, you have input and output, and you have to always strive to make sure that your output are more than your input in order to reach the standard of this formula. So, well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that we have all learned something from this. It is not easy to run a business. It is not easy, but business It's a different whole thing. But business is about practice, 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 learning as you do. Not only spending the whole time planning, but implementing, failing, uh, learning from those failures, and then implementing more and more better strategies that will help us to be able to take to increase our output and maybe reduce our input. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening. And as I said, I hope we all learn from this. If you like what you just listened to, please click the like button. Um, but most especially, I would like to get your comments, your questions, your suggestions, your feedbacks. This is a process of learning. This is a learning experience, and I want to also learn from this. I want to learn from your experiences, from your knowledge, from your skills. So please contribute. And until next time, stay blessed. Thank you.